Hello, my name is Sean Stennett. I've lived in Colorado Springs all of my life and watched it grow. I've worked in marketing for much of that time. Let's cultivate a marketing community and tell their stories. This is Marketing Colorado Springs podcast. Introducing Katie Costantino of Veerly Design Co. All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to Marketing Colorado Springs podcast. I'm here with Katie today. Hey, Katie, will you introduce yourself and tell us a little about your business and what you got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Katie Costantino. I'm a graphic designer and founder of Veerly, a design company. I started last October. Veerly is a newer venture for me. I'm still developing it and slowly gaining clients, but I've been in the print and design world for over 10 years now. I started out behind wide format printers at a sign shop back in Florida in 2014, and then worked my way through screen printing, production, installation, sales, branding, all the things. And all of that hands-on experience really shaped the way I design today. Now with Veerly, I get to work with super awesome clients and bring their ideas to life with clean design built to work in all areas, print and on screen.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So I have a couple of follow-up questions. What brought you to Colorado, one, and then what made you brave enough to take on the front of doing this as an entrepreneur and taking on your own practice?
Yeah, we actually moved to Colorado about 7 years ago. We visited a couple times and just totally fell in love with the mountains. Florida is very flat and very hot, so we were very easily appealed by coming here. Even the community aspect, and there's a lot of creatives that live here, and that's super refreshing. Um, and then as far as starting the Veerly, before we moved to Colorado, we actually started a creative company called Grizzy. Um, and we worked on it here and there. I was the lead designer for a fast sign, so I wasn't able to pour as much into it as I had hoped to. Um, and then we ended up rebranding and renaming it to Veerly at the very end of last year, and are just trying to make it something new, something great for the community.
That's so exciting. That's so exciting. So, it's always interesting to know like the origin story of the band name or the brand name in this case.
Yeah.
So what inspired the name Veerly and how does it reflect your mission and design philosophy?
Sure. So we were just brainstorming like names that were like easy to remember, easy to say, something that had a domain available, of course.
Ah,
And that's very hard. That's one of the reasons why Grizzy was dissolved. We just couldn't get the domain for it. But the name Veerly comes from the idea of like a fresh direction or a new, fresh change. Um, and that is the core of what I do as a designer, whether a brand is just starting out or ready to level up. I like to help them make that change visually with intention and elevation in their design that supports where they're headed, not just where they've been. It's super important as your business is evolving, your branding should also be evolving along with it. So that's where Beerly comes in.
Man, I love that. I love the fresh and new approach. And yeah, definitely check out Veerly Design Co. because Katie's got the purple and black thing going on and she carries it out in her studio and in her design. So I love your approach. So yeah, what types of businesses and brands do you usually help out with, or do you have like specific like industry that you target, or do you just kind of help everybody?
I kind of help everybody coming from the print industry naturally. I love working with print shops, marketing agencies,
Hmm.
event companies, other designers like yourself. But I have worked with a wide range of industries given working with print. I love working with small startups and new businesses, especially because I feel like their excitement is like super contagious. Um, and it really inspires me a lot when I'm creating. But I also love being trusted by bigger names and creating visuals for them using already established brand guidelines.
Yeah.
I just get to elevate it and create cool marketing and signage out of it.
Yeah, you get me excited because I come from a long background of design and branding and everything like that. So I'm like, ooh, brand guidelines, you're speaking my language. So, but with that being said, some businesses don't have set guidelines, or maybe that is an addendum to this question. So, what are some branding mistakes you see small businesses make, especially when they're starting out?
Overall, just like general branding inconsistencies.
Yeah.
They have a killer logo, but it doesn't follow through into their menu or their marketing, or
Mhm.
vice versa. They've got really great marketing and visuals, but their logo doesn't do them any justice.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not a huge believer in everything that needs to be super, super buttoned up because, like, where's the fun in that? So,
Right,
offering
right.
some versatility and room to reach outside of the box is super important. You definitely want to be relatable and have a brand that's capable of scaling and expanding.
Right, right. So, what that leads to the question then, what are some key elements of an effective brand identity? I mean, you mentioned logo, and yeah, what role has Colorado Springs played in shaping your business, kind of reflecting that philosophy too?
So, like key elements that I think make an effective brand identity, again, going back to consistency and relatability. People are so drawn to something they can relate to or to a business that sticks with their branding while
Mhm.
still thinking outside of the box. We live in a world where social media kind of runs the game in terms of who's trying what and what you should do in your marketing to reflect the latest trends.
Yeah,
So you shouldn't stay stagnant. You should take that leap and do something that stands out
yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Uh, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm just listening.
Oh no, you're good. And
Yeah.
then as far as Colorado Springs, it's honestly been such a big part of my journey. When I moved here, that's when my design career really took off. I was a lead designer for Fast Signs for 3 years, and then I was a head of creative for a sign company out of Denver. There's a cool mix of small businesses and creative people here, so I was able to connect with sign companies, event planners, all kinds of cool clients. It's just a great, inspiring place to live, being surrounded by the mountains and that kind of creative energy.
Yeah, yeah. So do you spend a lot of time like camping or snowboarding or hiking or just all the above, or what do you
We
do?
have we have dogs, so we do enjoy getting outside, going hiking. We do love camping. We've been doing that a lot more recently, hence the bus. Yeah, we love everything that Colorado has to offer.
Yeah, so before the show here, Katie let on that she is remodeling a bus into an RV. And man, that's so exciting. Like that's like its own brand design in itself. Like you're like taking on this project and like, oh man,
Oh, for sure.
what's the floor gonna look like? What
Exactly. I'm kind of treating it like a project. Like we've mocked it up in Illustrator, like how big everything's going to be, where it's going to sit, like looking up wallpapers and tile and all that. So it's like a design project in itself.
That's so funny. Like, I feel like I already know you. This is great.
I love that.
So, yeah, we started talking about a creative process a little bit. Walk us through your creative process. Like, let's say you're procuring a new brand identity. What does that look like from the start of the first client meeting to, finishing deliverables and brand implementation? I mean, I know that that's a whole mouthful, but kind of in a nutshell, what does that look like?
For sure. At the start of every project, I really like to learn as much as I can about the business or brand. Like, tell me how you started, the clientele you're trying to attract, what do you envision for your aesthetic? I do have a lengthy questionnaire that I send out for branding clients that they can fill out, and I can kind of get to know them and their business. After getting all that information, I feel I need to be getting all the information I feel I need to be successful. I begin the creative process.
Hmm.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're good.
I'm a huge advocate for offering options because my mind often thinks up numerous directions that could be plausible for the client's vision.
Yeah.
I know this isn't a popular direction, but I often don't cap my revisions either. I feel like as long as we're communicating properly, we can get the job done without the looming stress of a set amount of revisions. Final deliverables include many different file formats, so I give you like a little cheat sheet at the end of like what format's good for what instance. And
Hmm.
if you have any questions afterwards, always available.
That's so cool. So yeah, kind of some follow-up questions there. I love what you said. limitless brand revisions. I totally feel the same way. Like if we are both doing our job communicating effectively, um, I've mentioned this before on the show and just to other clients, it's like I call it the design funnel. We start with a broad amount of like infinite possibilities to refining an idea into, making decisions in type, making decisions in design and iconography and so forth. So my question would be like, that gets my wheels spinning. Like, how many initial concepts would you do, or does it just depend on each client, or what does that kind of look like?
It definitely depends on each client because some clients, they really know what they want. So it's easy to just give maybe one or two options, whereas maybe another client isn't totally sure what direction what they want to take. So I'll give them, maybe three to five, but like not giving them everything at once, maybe starting with one general piece and letting them see what it looks like in each of those lights, and then
Uh-huh.
having them choose the path they want to go.
Yeah, yeah. I just had some PTSD. Have you ever had somebody be like have like super vague like uh feedback like, "Duh, make it pop," or you know what to I'll know I know when I'll see it. Like do you ever face
Yes, for
like
sure.
difficulty like that? Oh man. Yeah.
I'm working on like a vehicle wrap project right now, and like the direction has changed 100 times. It's like, here are your references. We want it to look like this one, and it's like obviously these references they're on a different van style. Like your van style has a rail running through it and is much shorter, so like maybe something going diagonal isn't going to work as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So just like trying the things that they're sending me, and then like both of us coming to the agreement that it's definitely not going to work, and then moving in a different direction. So. It can
Yeah.
definitely be a struggle sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I like what you said there too. It's like, hey, let me show you that this won't work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do that. But sometimes you can just tell them, but
Hmm.
sometimes it's like, okay, well, here it is. And you're like,
Exactly.
doesn't work, does it?
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's go this direction. How do you what's your process of like reining clients in when they're kind of going rogue on you, and how do you like steer the ship without them like kind of tearing their hair out and you tearing your own hair out?
Sometimes it helps to just jump on a call, maybe do a quick
Yeah.
video share with the design in front of you and just say, what is it that's like bothering you? And like maybe tweak some things a little bit. Or if you're not comfortable getting on a call, maybe sending them a revision, pointing out, your concerns and then giving them an alternative suggestion that works well. Especially with my experience in print. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things that I think about, especially when designing a vehicle wrap, like where the curves are, like what things aren't going to work. And I try to, pass that knowledge on to the client without being pushy and more so helpful.
Yeah. That's great. That's
Mhm.
great. Yeah, I mean, all the more in life and this journey in this business too, it's like, communication is so key. Is
Oh,
so
yeah.
key. So, getting back to the beginning of this process, though, like, do you ever, um, something that I've been doing fairly recently, like within the last 5 years, is do you ever do like a mood board, or like, do you ever ask them for like examples of like, brands that they like, or just to get on the right track and get the ball rolling?
For sure. I've done mood boards in the past. I find that I definitely thrive off of like getting references of things that they like,
Hmm.
logos or marketing for those logos so that I can really dial in like the tone and the vibe that they're going for. So references are amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to be like, sometimes I have people that are a bit like almost like OCD, and I almost like working with people like that because it's like they're so like direct with their feedback and with their direction in general. It's like, okay, well, I can work with a person like that.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love that.
it's like, hey, if you know what you want, I know what I can give you. Like,
Exactly. It
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
leads the process a lot better.
Right, right. How long have you been doing Veerly now?
Veerly has been around since October of last year.
Yeah.
Um, Again, we've been doing a lot of development. So I built the website out. I'm working on some print materials. I do some other random things like I do. templates, Canva templates. I sell those on Etsy for people who maybe don't want to pay a bunch of money for design or just want something really simple that they can change things on.
Nice, nice. That's nice, like bread and butter stuff. So I'm curious about, you said Canva. I'm curious about like tools that you use. What kind of softwares do you run and stuff like that?
Adobe Illustrator is my baby. I love Adobe Illustrator. Obviously, you use Photoshop for photo editing and all of that.
Yeah.
Uh, and then Canva, as of I think last year, I just found a lot of clients asking for like an editable template or like something that's easy for them to switch out. And I feel like that's the best way to do it. And you
Yeah.
can even create the assets in Illustrator or Photoshop and
Oh,
bring them over into Canva. So it's more of like your design, it's just in an editable format. Um, so
wow.
I found great success in using Canva to help my clients.
Yeah, yeah. It is kind of like an entry level tool that's not horribly daunting for a client like that. We do I work with a company called Steck Insights for those who don't know, and they power this podcast here. But sometimes we have social media clients and they'll and same thing, like they need like an editable template where they can, feature a client of the month or different things like that. And Canva's been a really great tool. What's the other one? Shoot, I'm drawing a blank here. One of our guys does one for Maca. Oh, it's called Figma. Have you ever? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just started using Figma. I was working with a client for like a gala website, and they usually put their wireframe in Figma, and that was the first time I had used it. Super easy to use,
Yeah.
awesome to like, show your ideas. You can also put comments on it, and your clients can comment on it. So I've just recently started diving in further to see what more you can do with it.
Yeah, same here. Like man, I've been doing this for 15 years, so it's a little hard for me to be an old dog learning new tricks, but at the same time learning a new software. I mean, it's all roughly the same tools doing the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely find Figma as a very robust kind of tool where it's like, oh, I feel the same way about like, oh, okay, well, there's more to learn here, and I need to dive in a little deeper. One of
Mhm.
our designers uses it, and he's a whiz at it, and so. I just need to get better at this stuff.
I love that. There's a sign company I work for, and I'm like auditing the website right now. So I just took a bunch of screenshots of the website, threw it into Figma, and now I can like point out the things I want. It's like a mood board or like a brainstorming board almost.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's great. It's great. And like, so, okay, how do you feel about AI moving in, dare I say, infiltrating this industry? What's your feelings there? Because I've noticed like especially in Figma, like you can build out a wireframe and just say, "Hey there, AI, build out a wireframe for this," and set the parameters and splat. What's your feeling in on AI as it sits right now in 2025 in July?
So like working in print, I hate it in terms of like receiving the AI imagery. It's never like the best resolution for print. I do love to use it for like inspiration. So like getting some visual ideas to carry into something better, or even to create like copy for a website or like a social media caption or something like that. So I think it could be a
Absolutely.
super helpful tool,
Yeah.
if it's used correctly for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like you used a very key word here, which is tool. It is
Yes.
a tool, ladies and gentlemen.
It is not a designer.
Yeah, right. A hammer is not going to design your website. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Um, dude, yeah. And like my son said something really inspirational to me. He was like, robots don't generate art. And I was like, "Pff, wow, that's that's very
That is the
insightful.
truth.
We're coming from a 16-year-old, like, yeah, yes, son, that is absolutely true. So Shout out Jameson for that
I
tidbit.
love that.
Yeah, he's like I was like, wow, you hit the nail on the head. He's like, there's you have to have like a human element to this, and like it's not gonna it's not gonna speak to our emotions like a human will. So
Yeah, and far too many times it like wants to misspell words or
right. Oh, it
give
does
definitions that make
terrible
no
type.
sense.
Yeah, like it's almost like I feel like we're living in a dream world kind of, and it's like trying to spell out like, print shop, but it's like PLRITLT. Like,
It's like you're close, but you didn't get it. And then you can't edit it afterwards. You just
yeah,
have to have it made for you.
forget about it, right? Yeah, forget about
Yep.
it. But that's so, I wear a lot of hats. And obviously you probably know all about this as a young budding entrepreneur here. It's like, well, sometimes when clients are dragging their feet on copy, it's like I gotta kind of help them along. And it's not like I'm a great copywriter, but I write well enough and I'm creative in that own process. But man, ChatGPT has really been able to set us forth in that direction. Now in web design, it's like, okay, well, we really got to shape it to be like more human and then to
Yes.
more kind to the SEO and searchability and all that kind of stuff. But it's a great launching point. So for those who are watching AI, no, it's not going to replace brilliant people like Katie and myself. Not saying I'm brilliant, but um, so yeah, word to the wise.
Yes.
So with that being said, what's your vision for Veerly over the next 1 to 3 years, especially now that you're kind of up and coming? Like, what are some goals for the company? What are some ideas that you have? What are some ideas for expansion and the way that you are going to scale here?
So my vision for Veerly over the next 1 to 3 years is just to become a creative BFF for businesses and brands, but mostly on like a local level and not so much like a huge national level. I know that sounds kind of crazy because a lot of businesses just want to grow and grow as big as they can be. But I don't really want that. I want it to be like an intimate circle of clients that I can work with and help. And it's just me and them. It's not like them and, Joe Schmo designer that I hired. It's always just we know each other. I know their brand. They know they can trust me.
I love that.
Um, so just maintaining that is super important to me. I'm also working on a few different like side ventures. Like I said, the templates on Etsy, so it's easy for business owners to, have an affordable option that they can download and customize themselves. And then just for fun, I'm creating like a local clothing line,
Oh,
um,
cool.
featuring like different places in Colorado Springs that I hope to launch soon. So
Oh,
just, going down different creative avenues, not really sticking with one specific thing.
nice, nice. Do you mind if I ask the clothing line name so that we can keep our eyes out for that?
It would be tied to Veerly. It would be like under the word Veerly, but like it wouldn't be the same branding. It would be revived branding
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go for the clothing line. And then as a teaser, I've created some like graphics of like Garden of the Gods, Pikes Peak, stuff like that. That's a little bit more trendy.
Mhm.
Um, and then my hopes is to get that maybe into like some of like the old Colorado City shops or like Manitou Springs or something like that, just to
Yeah.
keep it local.
Yeah, like I feel like you can really tap into a niche there and get your feet planted on the ground. So that's really cool. What's your biggest aha moment so far? Any pivotal inflection points? Like what is was there a moment in Veerly where you're like, oh man, this is a home run and we're gonna be able to do this thing?
I would say generally my biggest aha moment is realizing that I don't need to be like any other designer but myself. For a while, I was worried about like the right way to do things. What are the big fancy designers doing? How can I charge more? How
Yeah.
can I create 100-page brand guide? It's like none of that is important at the end of the day. There are small businesses that have logos that maybe a designer wouldn't love, but like their customers love them and would wear their logo with pride because of what they stand for and what they offer.
Mhm.
So I'm not totally here to change my client's vision ever. I'm just here to bring it alive and want my clients to know I always have their back, and that's the most important.
Yeah, yeah. With your branding, well, and just your clientele in general, is it generally like one and done projects, or you mentioned like being their design BFF? Is it like more like monthly retainer type of stuff, or what does your average kind of clientele look like?
I do a lot of like ongoing work for clients that maybe aren't on a retainer, but also a lot of like single projects.
Mhm.
I work, for example, I make some like internal documents for like a medical device company. I work with a pickleball brand and I create like their pickleball paddle designs.
Cool.
Um, I work with a couple different sign companies on like reoccurring work for like signage and wraps. So my clientele is just all over the place, and I welcome it. So it's like whatever the client needs, I'm definitely here for.
Nice, nice. And you mentioned like local clientele. How do you funnel in those leads? Do you mostly get that from your websites and socials, or how does that come about?
I do freelance on a couple freelancing platforms, and they can see that I am from Colorado Springs. So I do often get people from Colorado reaching out, like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're in Colorado. I'd love to work with you." I also send out a lot of cold emails. That's actually how I got in contact with Tech Insights,
Oh,
just
cool.
reaching out, just a friendly hello.
Nice.
And then I hope to get some print marketing out there here soon. Just working on developing that now.
Yeah, like man, we love that. And that's the spirit of this podcast is like, you know, we realize that well, I've lived in Colorado Springs all my life, a little bit about me. And I got to tell you, I was here when this was a town of 100,000 people. And now El Paso County is probably at least 1 million strong, like, and then Colorado Springs proper is around in the corner to 750,000 people.
Yeah.
That all being said, there are plenty of efficiency in the pond here. Like,
Yes.
we don't have to we don't have to fight each other. And like when I started, everybody was kind of cutthroat a little bit, and or at least it felt that way. Like, oh, this is my little bag of things. So, but what I've realized quickly is we're so much stronger together.
Yeah.
That's the spirit of this podcast and this blog, and just this whole operation is like, hey, look at all the great people that are surrounding us in this area. How cool are we all together? So we just like to feature people like you, and I love the spirit of your cold calling, just like, hey, friendly handshake, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah, I
So.
think it's super important to like network with the creatives around you. Like I can't build a website from scratch, so obviously I'm going to definitely recommend somebody, brilliant like Steck, to go and build a website because I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know how to do that. At least stick with what you know.
Right, right, exactly. And that's exactly what it is too. It's like, hey, we're Stack Insights. We have a great group of like developers and yeah, we do some design, but it's like, oh man, if we get like a giant like print campaign, it's like, we might need to call Katie or, um like we do like little, marketing collateral for people, but like a giant mailer campaign might be out of our wheelhouse, and so we reach out to people like yourself. Or I have a friend, Jack, who I interviewed on our very first podcast. His business is called Ragtag Studio, and they are awesome video production people. And while I've kind of dabbled in that realm, it's like I'm not doing high test like story videos for people like I don't know, like they do a lot of stuff with like Visit Colorado Springs or um just hire test people like that. Like, yeah, I'd love to take on clientele like that, but like you only can stretch yourself so far. So
Exactly. So surrounding yourself again with that good creative network is just super valuable.
yeah, yeah. And we love people like you jumping in with us, and man, I have a special place for branding in my heart. And so it was really cool to meet you, Katie. We're kind of running out of time here, but I'd love to see Any final thoughts? Any thing that you can plug? Anything that you have going in the near future here?
We will be adding more to our template store. It's called Veerly Digital Goods on Etsy. And you can also visit our website, veerly.com. We have a few easy avenues to go. Flat rate projects if you just want one and done, monthly retainers if you want reoccurring design work, and then large scale projects if you're working on something huge like a brand revamp, or maybe you just purchased a restaurant and you need menus and marketing signage. But yeah, we're definitely here to help.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm plugging your website here a little bit. Like you said, there's large scale projects, and you've got a really cool, I love that your like topography kind of thing here, branding events and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, you guys do great work too. I really dig the aesthetic, and you've got a nice like wide range of things going on here. So very cool stuff.
Thank you.
Well, that's about it for us for now. I'm gonna say over and now, and a little sign off that I have is we're trending upward, Colorado Springs. So, hey, be sure to check out Veerly.com and Miss Katie Costantino. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, you have a blessed day here, Katie.
You too.
All right, bye bye.